if you believe that there is things more important than the job that you do, if you believe that as a company we can change our industry and then change the world, this story is for you. And if you don't believe on any of this story is also for you.
And there's a lot of evidence that there's, first of all, a lot of intelligence in the heart itself, as in an actual brain structure that exists within the heart. It's a complex neuronal structure, 40,000 neurons, where actual processing of information is happening in the human heart. This is not a theory, it's been measured, it's valid. There's a medical textbook called Neurocardiology, which is the study of the brain and the heart.
For me, as a spiritual teacher, what I know is that the heart is a doorway to oneness. It's a doorway to the divine. It's like the heart is the organ spiritually that enables us to encounter new things.
Recognizing that heart intelligence, or intuitive intelligence, as I talk about it all the time, is the larger intelligence. The intellect is just one small part of that. And so when we recognize in businesses and in organizations and government as well, to start recognizing that when we step into that intuitive intelligence and we begin to relate to one another from that place, we're working in a much, much larger playing field than if we're only in the intellect. It's like we're looking through a lens only this big.
When we enter into these processes of change, and I think we're really in them, we can't know what systems will look like. If we're going towards something we know, we're recreating the old thing. I mean, we really are. We're reinventing what we know versus stepping into a bigger question and then engaging with that. And in that way, creating the new things. And so I think the path of heart is that path of uncertainty. Can I stand in front of you and not have an answer and engage with what's there versus what I think is there?
That rallying vision, while you may not understand how it'll manifest itself, if you don't have that vision at the start, you're never going to be able to pull it off. So you need the words, you need the pictures that kind of show you where you want to go. Just accept you don't understand what that actually may look like, but if you don't have the start point, you'll never have the journey, I don't think.
I think the Ray Andersons of this world will be seen as we see some of the great inventors of the past. I mean, people like Edison and so on. People that come up with a new way of looking at things, new ideas, yeah, they're going to be seen as the pioneers.
It was frightening to take that big step into the dark, not knowing where your foot would come down.
And we don't often stop to talk about, to call the challenges that we run into miracles. And we think that it's a terrible tragedy that we don't hit our goals that we've chosen for ourselves. And we don't know that sometimes those goals are cut from us out of a great sense of compassion and a desire to support our deeper health and love.
This challenge that's showing up, it's like, breakdown leads to breakthrough. If we pay attention to the breakdown and listen to it, why is everything falling apart? Well, because something else is trying to be created. That's what we've got to pay attention to.
Most of the problems in business, I think, now are complex. They're complexities because they're relationships. And so the problem, I think it's universal now in terms of the business world, is that they're treating complexities as if they were merely complicated, and that is to then create a worse problem.
I never gave a thought to what we were taking from the earth or doing to the earth in the making of our products. And then in the summer of 1994, we began to hear questions from our customers we'd never heard before. What's your company doing for the environment? And we didn't have answers. The real answer was not very much. And it really disturbed many of our people.
So it seems quite money-minded at times.
Money-minded, yeah?
Yeah, like just focus on getting profits and benefits. Like, well, it might definitely not be true, but it's like seeing from outside. it always looks like that.
We have come to believe that every company has to grow all the time. You know, we're not questioning this anymore. And who the hell says that we should? You know, and that we actually can, around the whole world, grow every year, everybody growing by 10%, whilst the resources are coming down. Make no sense.
So many things that people are telling us we have to do differently. And I realized that while all that is very true, much of it I feel like, yes, absolutely, these things need to change. And I realized that none of those things are going to happen until there's shifts inside of us, in terms of our perspective, in terms of how we are showing up.
How can one create the acceptance of a different question? How can we make people begin to doubt themselves a little and what it is that they do?
And to let my head bow, to let myself find my humility and my sincerity, you know, and my tenderness and my vulnerability. And it's in that softness that there's a fluidity and that there's the artistry and creativity can come through. And to me, that's where all of my breakthroughs have happened.
I began to read The Ecology of Commerce, really desperate for inspiration. And very quickly into that book, I found the phrase, the death of birth. It was E.O. Wilson's expression for species extinction, the death of birth, and it was a point of a spear into my chest. And I read on, and the spear went deeper, and it became an epiphanal experience, a total change of mindset for myself, and a change of paradigm.
And so when we look at things happening, challenges arising, problems coming up, if we treat them as our friends, in other words, to say, I think you have a message for me. You're here for some reason. You're trying to show me something. That shifts everything in our perspective of how we're working with that.
First, if we want to stay in business, we need to drive sustainability. To drive sustainability, we need to put our heart into it. As I was saying, otherwise it will seem fake and authentic. Consumer will see it, stakeholder will see it, and it will totally backfire.
One day, early in this journey, it dawned on me that the way I've been running Interface is the way of the plunderer. Plundering something that's not mine, something that belongs to every creature on earth. And I said to myself, my goodness, the day must come when this is illegal, that when plundering is not allowed. I visualize an organization of people committed to a purpose, and the purpose is doing no harm. I see a company that has severed the umbilical cord to earth for its raw materials, taking raw materials that have already been extracted and using them over and over again, driving that process with renewable energy. It is our plan, it remains our plan to climb Mount Sustainability.
And when actually the work was first presented to the president of the business unit, it was not popular. It was like, guys, this is not what we're about. We're about white coats. We're about, you know, happy dry babies. And the story, and I know it's genuinely true, was that the team was based here in Geneva, literally got on a plane on a Saturday night, flew out of Geneva, flew to Cincinnati, and, you know, I'm sure this has been embellished, but literally sort of demanded to get a meeting on the Monday morning to present the work because they wanted to present it. And that worked. They were given a chance to go work on it and go prove it. And I asked myself, if those individuals had said that Saturday afternoon, oh well, nice try, but let's go skiing. We may be in a very, very different position, from where we are today as a brand, because that idea may simply have fallen away and not happened.
It's basically, there is an informal social network on sustainability that I discovered, of people sharing insight, business ideas, innovation ideas with each other, and there are quite a lot. Just almost for the sake of sharing their mutual passion, and they would spend sometimes 10, 15, 20% of their day, just trying to do something that can have an impact.
Costs are down, not up, reflecting some $400 million of avoided cost in pursuit of zero waste. Our products are the best they've ever been, inspired by design for sustainability, an unexpected wellspring of innovation. Our people are galvanized around the shared higher purpose. You cannot beat it for attracting the best people and bringing them together. And the goodwill of the marketplace is astonishing. No amount of advertising, no clever marketing campaign at any price could have produced or created as much goodwill.
How do we, in organizations and businesses, come back to approaching life as a craft, as an art? By approaching our work as an art, leadership as an art, coaching as an art,